Here between the ropes with the only 3 champions of the USDGC, current champion David Feldberg, your last night as the title holder. They start fighting for it tomorrow. Kenny Climo, 4-time champ, 2-time champ, Barry Schultz. Guys, what does it take, to prepare for this event? How do you prepare, and when do you actually start preparing?
Wow.
I start preparing the next day. I mean, I play this course in my park as often as I can. It's an imaginary course, but the landscape's similar. And I take out and walk like I'm just walking the course and try to even the walk between holes. It probably looks real weird, but that's what I do. I start preparing.
I know I start preparing that long and dark walk back to the vehicle on Saturday night. Thinking about what went well and what didn't go well, what I need to work on, so it's fresh in the mind. As far as preparing, it's just I constantly am playing the course in my mind while I'm driving to and from. That's one of the courses I play all the time in my mind, going through the holes and the shots, just practicing, making sure I know what discs I want to bring, prepared for the weather conditions and stuff, and just get the urge and get the energy flowing for this event.
Kenny?
I usually prepare in maybe about a month and a half beforehand, slightly after the Worlds, because the Worlds is a pretty big preparation event in itself. So I start gearing up for it then, and I do like what Dave said. I go out to certain local courses and try and make up holes that are similar in aspect and make areas that I don't want to throw it in, considering those OB, and trying to get a little bit of the feel of throwing the long shots that you need to land accurately.
Well, you surprised a lot of the people this year at the Worlds when you showed up Sunday afternoon. I know a lot of guys were saying, wow, what's Kenny doing? And obviously your preparation works. So I'd go with whatever works for you.
I've played those courses a lot, so I felt pretty good on. There was only, one that I hadn't seen a whole lot of. So I went and spent some time there and happened to have a pretty good round there.
You guys are put under a lot of pressure out there. Probably some of the biggest galleries that you see, definitely the most money that you get to play for. How do you cope with that pressure with, the galleries moving around when you're fixing to take a putt and, just having to deal with the things you don't deal with on a weekly basis?
I think it's a cliche for a reason, but staying in the moment, just staying focused on the shot you have in front of you next, whether it's a tee shot or an up shot or whatever, trying not to think of that shot from the second you throw a shot to the next moment. And you gotta look at the birds, look at the beautiful weather out here. You gotta relax a little bit, but try not to think about shots you've done or shots you're going to do. I mean, just stay relaxed, stay in the moment. It's the best thing you can do.
I don't really, if I'm playing my best, I don't really notice them. People will be like, I didn't even notice they were there. My friends have been there and they've watched 5 holes. I didn't even know they were there. And when I'm not playing well in front of the group and feeling the pressure, then I kind of embrace the crowd. I go into the crowd, I talk to people I know, and try to forget about what I'm doing for a moment so that I can refocus again.
I think for me, it's more like Barry said. You just gotta live each shot as it comes, and not push too much stress on it until the time it gets there. When you're standing over your shot, surveying it, that's the time to think about it, focus, and act. And other than that, there's not much you can do besides making sure the area is free of distractions.
We've all been in the zone, or at least yearning to be in the zone. In 2003, you guys were in the zone simultaneously. I don't know that I've ever seen that in a sport where 2 athletes were simultaneously in the zone. And the battle you guys had, have you ever had that happen before? What does that feel like to be in the zone with another guy in the zone, and both of you are untouchable at that moment?
Well, I was fortunate enough to get into the zone in the playoff. For the prior 6 holes, I don't think I was so much in the zone as Barry had been for 15, 16 holes straight at the end. So he was a little more in the zone than I was. But in the playoff, that was it was something I've never experienced before, and
energy.
Not going to experience again, I don't think.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, to have you 2 guys doing those amazing feats, one right after the other, topping each other time and time again, it made for great drama, and we hope we see it someday again. So maybe it'll be you 2 guys again. You never know. So what will it take to win this year's championship, Dave?
I believe it's going to take focus and concentration and not letting any of the extra hoopla get to you. Just staying in your own game and realizing that it's just you in the course, and in the end it's just you, and the only reason that you're here is to win and do what you're here to do.
Barry?
I think Dave hit it pretty well. You know, staying in the moment, not letting mistakes get to you, not letting heroic shots get to you, just playing your game. You know, trying not to go out of bounds more than a handful of times. Try and make some timely putts, and hopefully have a chance come Sunday or Saturday afternoon.
Champ?
Well, I'd like to start with the elements. If it gets windy, know how to manage your game and maybe not play for the birdie and take a par here or there. And also you want to putt well out here and manage to stay inbounds as best as possible. I think that's the key element out here, is just keeping your disc in play, not adding that extra stroke, not letting it build up. There's a few elements on this course, a couple of dangerous tee shots where you really have to get your disc inbounds off the tee or you could run into a big number. I think that's going to play a key role in who maybe wins or doesn't win this year, is the guy who's going to stay away from the big number.
That's some advice from the champs, the only 3 champs we've ever had. I'd take that advice. That's Between the Ropes with Billy Crump. Thank you. I'm Billy Crump, and that's a day between the ropes at the USDGC. Be sure to tune in tomorrow.